In what way? Give me an example of that, would you?
I can't give you an example.
Does that not embarrass you on any level? You're on the national radio now, convinced that you've got some interesting points to make. And when the presenter asks you politely, calmly, for just like one single intelligent insight into the position that you hold, you just say, oh, I can't. I've got nothing.
All right, so in this video, you're going to see the perfect example of a political phenomenon. The people with the loudest, strongest opinions are often the ones with the least knowledge to back them up. Any listener to LBC hears this on a regular basis. Well, this time, Brexiteer called James to complain that Brexit has failed, and in the process reveals to the entire nation that he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. If you're tired of this kind of empty, fact-free politics, show your support by hitting the like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Now let's watch this together, and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end.
Richard is in Kenton in Middlesex. Richard, what would you like to say?
Good morning, James.
Hello, mate.
First time I've spoken to you. I've seen you quite a bit on YouTube.
Welcome.
And fascinated with your comments. I was in favour of Brexit. I voted for Brexit, but it hasn't worked. The previous government, it didn't work, and this government, it hasn't worked because the politicians are, in a word, hopeless, all of them.
What would you have done?
That's why the Reform Party is going to get a lot of votes in
So
all future elections.
what would you have done?
What would I have done?
Yeah.
Well, I'm not a politician. That's not my expertise.
No, but if you don't have a view on that...
I would certainly have sealed the borders up.
Sealed the borders up?
Yes.
Okay.
I think zero immigrants. We've got how many people in this country? 75, 80 million unofficially. Well over 70 million.
Unofficially?
When I was growing up, there was 50 million.
Right.
How can this small area, this tiny country, accommodate 20 million more people?
Yeah.
It's crazy. It cannot work. And also from overpopulation, you can't get a doctor's appointment. You can't park your car.
Well, Well, I'm in London. I came in on a bus this morning. You're in Kenton.
I go on buses. I'm a senior citizen.
You're in Kenton. So your theory is we just need to do all of the same things again, but harder.
The same things meaning what?
Trusting Nigel Farage, most obviously.
Well, give him a try.
Yeah, because the last promises he made have gone so well, haven't they?
I wouldn't know what they were exactly.
Well, he told you Brexit was going to do loads of magical things, and it's done precisely none of them. And some of us explained why it would be impossible to deliver all of the things that he promised, and we've been proved right. But you still trust him?
I don't trust him.
Yes, you do.
I'll give him a chance because
that involves
the other
trust.
major parties have got any chance of winning an election.
And apart from somehow
90% of the country would say they're hopeless.
And apart from somehow sealing our borders, when I ask you what you could or what any politician could have done differently, you've got nothing.
I haven't got nothing. I'm not an expert on how I would seal the borders.
No, but let's forget about sealing the borders and talk about how Brexit could have gone better.
Sealing the borders is not the right word.
Well, I think they were yours.
They were my words.
Okay.
They weren't the right words.
That's okay. That's a very Brexity thing to do. What other things could have made Brexit better?
By keeping the population down.
How would we do that? Sterilisation?
No.
Contraception?
The immigration.
Right, apart from immigration...
The birth rate is falling. British people are having fewer children.
Therefore, we need immigration. But we're abolishing immigration. So apart from immigration, how could Brexit have gone better?
Apart from immigration?
Yeah.
By having control of your own country, which I wouldn't know whether we have or not, and not being ruled by Europe.
In what way? Give me an example of that, would you?
I can't give you an example.
Does that not embarrass you on any level? You're on the national radio now, convinced that you've got some interesting points to make. And when the presenter asks you politely, calmly, for just like one single intelligent insight into the position that you hold, you just say, oh, I can't. I've got nothing. I'm not a politician. I don't know.
I'm slightly embarrassed because I'm not an expert. I'm
Do you know who else isn't an expert on this?
You.
No, I am. Ask me anything. Every single person who's encouraged you to support Brexit, there's not a single expert among them. And yet you're still trusting them instead of the people who have been proved right about everything. And I hear the chuckle, and that means that you're not someone who's been desperately affected by Brexit. You're not someone whose business has been shut down. You're someone who lies awake in bed in Middlesex having weird dreams about immigrants. You're not someone who's had...
You're very rude to me, aren't you?
Well, I am very rude to you, yes, because of what you've done to my country.
What I've done.
And now you're here to tell me you've got no clue about anything.
What have I done? I voted for Brexit. It was 51% against 49%.
You voted for Brexit and you still cling to the carcass that it could somehow have gone well. And apart from making life difficult for people who don't look like you haven't got a single clue what that means, what you want, or how you'd go about getting it. So how on earth, Richard, could I not be rude to you?
Well, a lot of people are rude to me because I've got very strong views on certain things.
No, it's not because you've got very strong views, Richard. It's because you can't explain a single one of them.
Because I told you 3 times I'm not an expert on politics.
So you're literally sitting in front of me now saying I've got very strong views on things, but I don't understand any of them.
Which 90% of the population would have. All the people
I
who
can
vote.
promise you, Richard, that 90% of the population do not have very strong views about things that they can't explain. And if they did, they wouldn't be stupid enough to ring up a radio station and advertise it.
I just wanted to speak to you. I wanted to see how many times you'd interrupt me. But I have got strong views.
But you don't understand why.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not an expert. In fact, you are Mr. Brexit. I've got really strong views. I hate immigration, and I have absolutely no insights whatsoever into all of the reasons behind the strong views that I hold.
I don't hate immigration. If we had a population of 50 million, I would encourage immigration. But you have to. America is how many times as big as Britain? 30, 40 times as big in area. They've got 6 times as many people. They've got 300 and something million.
It's 10:45.
All right, so let's just quickly recap what we all just heard. The man Richard phones in, he states clearly that he voted for Brexit and admits it hasn't worked, but instead of questioning the project itself, he blames hopeless politicians. It's the classic reform type defense. The ideology was pure, it was just implemented badly. And when James asks him for a simple, practical idea of what should have been done differently, his only answer is to fall back on the same tired, simplistic slogan that started all of this. Seal the borders. No detail, no nuance, and you're still hearing it right now with Reform UK. And all of their ridiculous fans infesting the British political space. And then comes the moment that exposes the entire charade. James asks him for just one single example of how Britain was ruled by Europe, the very foundational premise of the entire Leave campaign. And Richard's response is, I can't give you an example. Like many of these right-wing bozos, he holds a belief so strong that he voted to fundamentally damage the country by voting for Brexit. Yet he cannot produce a single piece of evidence to support it. And that right there is where the conversation needs to begin. He isn't just one confused man on the phone. He's the perfect avatar for a strain of political engagement that has become dangerously dominant. It's the politics of strong views, zero knowledge. We see it everywhere. It's in every Reform UK voter who shouts about taking our country back, but can't name a single law that they would repeal. It's in every right-wing councillor who rails against globalist plots, but can't explain what that even means. This isn't a bug in their system, it's the entire operating model. The strategy is brutally simple and effective. First, you create a vague, menacing villain. In this case, Europe or migrants. It doesn't need to be specific. It just needs to feel threatening. Then, you cultivate a powerful sense of grievance against that villain. Richard feels the country is overpopulated. He feels like he's lost control. His politics are entirely based on emotion. And third, the most crucial step is to actively reject any and all demands for facts, evidence, or expertise. Listen to his repeated defense. I'm not an expert, I'm not a politician. That statement isn't a humble admission of ignorance, it's just a defensive shield. A pre-packaged line used to say, my gut feelings are more authentic and more valid than your complicated facts. It's an attempt to make ignorance a virtue, something which, if you look over to the USA, Donald Trump has mastered. When James calmly asks for just one example, he isn't just asking for a piece of data. He's challenging the entire emotional foundation of Richard's worldview. And because that worldview has no factual scaffolding to hold it up, the entire structure collapses into that humiliating, damning silence. I can't give you an example. It's the sound of an ideology with nothing at its core. And perhaps the most cynical part of it all is his final admission. He only called to see how many times you'd interrupt me. It was never a good faith discussion. It was a performance. He phoned in wanting to play the part of the silenced victim, the man whose common sense truth was being shut down by the elites in the media. Instead, he accidentally played the part of the emperor with no clothes, and in doing so exposed the intellectual bankruptcy of the entire movement he represents. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to see more videos like this, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and don't forget to ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks for watching.